He said, the ones who shared continued to live. They didn't starve to death. So he was saying to me, it isn't just calories.
I want to welcome you back again for another story answering the question, is God active? Today I'm here with my father, Burke Hyman, and he has a story that he's going to share from many generations ago.
Yeah, we come from East Germany originally, and I was born in West Germany, but before I came to Canada. And so my grandfather, when we were in Germany, he tried to give us little episodes of his life sometimes to help guide us along the way, things he'd learned. So he was sharing with me this time. He was at the time of the Second World War, he was already an older man. So at first he wasn't in the army. But at the end, as Germany was losing and people were coming and attacking Germany, they made a kind of a call for everybody had to go to war, and he went. And he was taken captive. And so they sent him to a concentration camp in Belgium, for prisoners of war. And when he was there, he told me that, he said, I wanted to share this story with you. He said, when we were there in Belgium, the food was very short. It was after the war. There was not much to eat and everything. And so once a day, we used to get a bowl of soup, he said. And if as you were so hungry, he said, that if there was a lump in it, you would hold it in your mouth. And he said, when you watched a dog walk around the outside of the perimeter, he said, you would just wish that you could get a hold of it just to eat it. He was so starving. So he said, but what he wanted to tell me about that was not the starving part so bad as the change that came. He said, there's certain people there that when they got that way, we became very self-centered. They would just keep their stuff. But there was others, as people got sick in the camp, that would share that little bit of food they got. That it was hard to do, but he said they had it in their heart to share. And he said, I wanted to teach you this. He said, because what happened, what I noticed as we were there for a period of time, he said, the ones who shared continued to live. They didn't starve to death. So he was saying to me, it isn't just calories. The ones who were actually willing to share with the other people, who were sick and who were dying at that point in time too, he said they continued to live, whereas the other ones, they died. And so he said, there's more to life than meets the eye. He said this thing about being good and doing good is good for you. You know what I mean? And God obviously blesses that. He was trying to tell us how God works. And I always I thought that was such a neat thing, because it was so different than you would expect. And so then, anyway, I wanted to share this, with others. And so I thought, well, I better check on this to make sure about the camps in Belgium and what have you. So I looked on the internet and I started reading about the camps in Belgium. And they said, oh, yes, there was these internment camps, he said. And the journalists that went there, this was the camps that the Allies had set up. He said, when the journalists went there, they said, this is just like Auschwitz and all those other camps. They were doing this on purpose to the people. They were starving them to death. And that was a shock to me. Such a shock, because I had just thought, Grandpa was teaching me something about that God would take care of you, and always share and do whatever. But here, all of a sudden, I see that this was on purpose. They were starving them to death. And instantly, I kind of felt the hardness coming to my heart, because I'd never, ever been prejudiced in that way. But then I realized all of a sudden what my grandfather had actually done. He never, ever once mentioned that they were doing that on purpose, because he didn't want to share the evil. He just told us the story, and then we just thought the story was because it was no food, And so it never made me prejudiced. And I begin to realize one thing. It's when you share evil, it creates more evil. And I was so thankful to him that he never wanted me to taste what it would taste like to be prejudiced and hateful when people. So he obviously had forgiven, because he never shared it with me. And when you hold something, you share it. Well, so to me, that was the most wonderful thing that he did for me.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. There's a text in the Bible, and it comes out of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 10 and 11. It says, for the scriptures say, if you want to enjoy life and see many happy days, Keep your tongue from speaking evil and your lips from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good. Search for peace and work to maintain it. Now, as we've heard the story that my father's told, and we think about the setting, and we think about people hungry and even watching a dog as it walks on the outside and salivating. I mean, it's hard for me to think that way, but there might be even people today that would be actually having the same experience. And to realize that the principle that he's trying to get us to see here is that we got to stop the evil. The more we talk about it, the more it grows. So today I want to invite you to stop. If you have something that's hurting you inside, and you're passing that on to somebody, and you're passing it on to people at work, your family, your friends, your neighbors, take the principle that this Bible is saying. Work to maintain it. Do good. And God will bless you. And then I want to invite you to join us next week as we continue answering the question, is God active? Thanks for watching today. If this episode has helped you see God in a new view, and you're wondering where to start, I want to suggest reading Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. These 3 chapters will transform your life. And if they do, please share it with a friend and know that we are praying for you.